Well, welcome to the opening ceremony of the Rose Valley Museum at Thunderbird Lodge. As we are all patriots, we'd like to start with a pledge allegiance to the flag. If you could stand and turn to the flag behind you, out in facing the road. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
It's not quite
We're going to cover a lot of interesting history today. And this is all because a gift of the Olmsted's family, the residents of Rose Valley, the Strathaven School District, and our board of directors. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You don't want to hear me. I'm Mayor of Rose Valley and President of the Rose Valley Museum, the Rose Valley Foundation, the Centennial Foundation that owns this magnificent Thunderbird Lodge behind me. Many of our Rose Valley residents didn't even know this building existed because it was hidden behind a high fence and a bunch of vegetation. But we're happy to take the vegetation down and let you see this magnificent building. To make my remarks official, I've got to put on my mayor's hat. One moment. Hats like this were originally made from beaver skins traded in Rose Valley by the Minquaw Indians to the Swede and Dutch traders in the early 1600s. A Pennsylvania state marker dedicated to the Minquaw beaver skin trade is located on this property along Rose Valley about 100 feet in that direction. And the Minquaw, it's another story which I'd love to tell you, but we'll have to be another time. But the Minquaw established the first commercial highway in the state of Pennsylvania in 1603, trading beaver skins, which then turned into hats, which were in demand in Europe. Did you know that the Rose Valley is one of the world's preeminent communities during the arts and crafts period at the turn of the last century? We have a rich heritage that needs to be preserved and enjoyed. That's what this is all about. The Rose Valley Museum Society and Historical Society was founded more than 20 years ago, and they collected many valuable items from Rose Valley's rich past. The only problem was they didn't have any place to display them. The Rose Valley Centennial Foundation, however, is a new philanthropic nonprofit organization that was founded about 5 years ago for the betterment of our residents by doing projects with donated funds. The Foundation's first two projects were the creation of the Heritage Garden and the Veterans Memorial at the entrance to Rose Valley Road. Old Mill Lane, I'm sorry. Mildred Olmsted was the last owner of Thunderbird Lodge. There's also a state marker on the other side of that stone building, the stone pillar over there. You go up a little bit, there's another historical marker to her. Imagine that. We have two Pennsylvania state historical markers on this one property. Makes it pretty special. Mrs. Olmsted specified in her will that when her descendants no longer wanted to live in the lodge had to be offered as a gift to a nonprofit or a municipality. When the lodge was offered to our nonprofit Centennial Foundation, we said yes! And then about 6 months later, we became the owners. The lodge is one of the most important new constructions in the United States during the arts and crafts period at the turn of the last century. When you visit the two artist studios in the lodge, last, the Museum and Historical Society had a home for their museum and a place to conduct programs of historical and community interest. The foundation became responsible to repair, restore, and preserve the lodge. The construction of the lodge began in 1904 with the conversion of a 1792 stone barn owned by Alice Berber Stevens, a famous illustrator, and her husband Charles, a collector of North American Indian Americana. into 2 artist studios. Now, that whole stone barn is everything you see from this tower here over there. That was the barn. And it had to have the roof raised to make room for the upstairs, upstairs studio. The construction of the lodge began in 1904 with the conversion of that barn. Everything. When you visit the 2 artist studios in the lodge, you'll see a work in progress. There's much more work to be done. Plastering, painting, humidity control, ADA requirements. We may even need a new handicap restroom, security, repair and replacement of a flat roof in a couple of years, porches that need new surfaces, new stucco. And when the stucco goes on, it will use sand from Ridley Creek, exactly as was done in 1904. We need a new parking lot. You agree with that one?
Yeah.
All of these are costly projects. As we continue to work on this transformational project at the heart of the arts and crafts movement in Rose Valley, we are grateful for community engagement. We hope your financial participation will inspire our neighbors and friends. We have set a goal, very ambitious, to raise $1 million in the next 2 or 3 years. The good news is we've already raised $200,000. We need your commitment to reach our goal. It can be achieved by pledges that are paid over 2 or 3 years. So please consider a pledge. When you go into the building today, you'll see strategically placed for these envelopes. Envelopes contain some pledge papers which you can fill out. In the next year or more, collaborative fundraising by Rose Valley Centennial Foundation and the Rose Valley Museum and Historical Society will all, for our love of our place and desire to honor the past, as we move into the future, a powerful thing. We hope to harness that power, that magic that brings Thunderbird Lodge to its rightful glory as a veritable new home with the Rose Valley Museum. As you enter the lodge through the glass doors behind me, you're certain to pick up, you'll scatter around in the building, will be some flyers that you'll see that will explain to you much of what we're about. If I can pull one out of my
Does that
closet.
hat come with a rabbit?
Here's one that comes. Here it is. Be sure to pick up one of these. It explains it all. I'll be followed by our friend and supporter, the Honorable Leon Krieger-Brannicke, our Pennsylvania State Representative, who in addition to her many achievements, has the unique distinction of having marched in Rose Valley's 4th of July parade for 2 years. Before we hear from our representative, I would like to recognize Paula Healy. Where is she?
Right here.
In the back someplace. Morris Potter, where's Morris? Here for both of them. We consider both of them to be the oracles of Rose Valley. They know everything. They've been here their whole lives. They've dedicated much of their life work to the betterment of Rose Valley. They know everything. They know your house, they know every inch. They even know the names of your dogs and cats. So it's now my pleasure to present the Honorable Leon Krieger-Brannicke.
Good morning, everybody. And let me say first, not only did I get to march in the parade, but the mayor even let me carry the rose for Rose Valley last year, and I felt very, very honored by that distinction. And it's great to be with you, and I want to say, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations on this wonderful achievement. I got to tour this site last year, actually, when it was still under construction, with the mayor and with Ryan, and learned about the history of this place. And I must admit, I am one of those people who drove up and down this road many, many times and didn't even know it was here before all of the invasive vines were cleared. So congratulations. Today marks the day that we open this wonderful facility to the public, so visitors near and far can enjoy its history. And I want to draw a connection between this place and between our state capital in Harrisburg, the place where I go to take important votes for our community and sometimes fight back for the things that I know that we all believe in. Both of these buildings
honor two very prominent Pennsylvania illustrators, and both of them happen to be women. In the state capitol, the first is a woman named Violet Oakley, whose mural work decorates the Capitol chambers. And she was employed as an artist at a time when women were not able to get very many commissions. And I invite anyone here today to join me at the Capitol as my guest to see some of her amazing murals. And the second, of course, is Alice Barber Stevens, a patron, resident, and artist here at Thunderbird Lodge. These women are two notable examples of some of the women who exist in the history of our Commonwealth. And we know it was Alice Barber Stevens' commercial success that allowed this to become known as the home of Mrs. Alice Barber Stevens, and further brought this site to prominence during her own artistic fame over 100 years ago. I draw strength from the tradition of progressive women here in Pennsylvania and here at home in Rose Valley. They include Mildred Scott Olmsted, the second owner and matriarch of Thunderbird Lodge, Grace Rotzel, the early principal of the school in Rose Valley, and Lucy Stevens, the career teacher and wife of the co-founder of the school in Rose Valley. These women have laid such a strong foundation for all of us, and I believe that we stand on their shoulders. Once again, I'd like to say congratulations to everyone who came together to make this possible. And I've got a certificate on behalf of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to mark this occasion that I'm going to present to Mayor Tim Plummer on behalf of everybody who made this project possible. So again, congratulations, and it's an honor to be here to celebrate with you all today. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Morris Potter. I'm president of the Rose Valley Museum and Historical Society. We have gone along for 20 years on a nice little easygoing program of a couple of lectures, a party. Now we're hitting the big time, and things are changing. I'll tell you what's been really wonderful. Sitting here and watching people. We've become an attractive nuisance, I think we'll all cause that. I'm sure we're going to cause an accident as this place is reviewed. This place has been dreamed about not just for 20 years by us, but when Will Price and the Rose Valley Association bought these 80 acres here and imagined a utopian community based on the production of arts and crafts. It was a place to live, too. And they wanted that their furniture production was going to be in the old mill on Ridley Creek. Louder. I can't do louder. And the community was going, events were going to be centered at Hedgerow Theater. They wanted an auditorium for lectures, concerts, and plays. They wanted a library. They wanted a museum, which is interesting. I don't know what they were going to put in there. And a school for children whose method of instruction would be through the hand to the brain. They conspicuously created all these institutions, if we include the Helen K. Furness Library as ours. It's close enough. We give it money, yeah, we use it. The school in Rose Valley is based on instruction through the hand, you know, wood shop when you're 3 years old, kindling for your parents. And now we get a museum. So this is fabulous. I want to thank some people. First off, the school in Rose Valley for their parking lot. And for all the friends I've made because of the school in Rose Valley, many of who are standing here. One of them is Jane Molesky, who painted our beautiful invitation. Quite an artist her own self. A few gardeners who turn up to make it look like somebody lives here in the face of a construction site. Did you all notice this being built? It was 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And it is ADA compliant, and it's right where the wagons used to bring the hay in. And if you look, and it's a piece of art, so of course it took a long time. If you look carefully, treasure will reveal itself to you. Anyway, the gardeners, the museum board, which is Ryan, curating Marge, Fern, treasurer, thank you. So Powell membership, me, Secretary Paula Healy, and of course we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the Centennial Foundation. They have to pay for this. We don't. But we have to be attractive, you know. We have to attract you all in here. How we're going to do that is by using this guy, our next speaker, Ryan Burley. I consider very young. He's about half my age, which is a good thing. He went to college with a double major in history and entrepreneurship. He graduated from college, went to work for Freeman's Auction in Philadelphia. By his mid-20s, he's the curator of the 20th Century collection. That's impressive. He and his brother, he's still a young man, he and his brother, where he is, with a pink hat, right. Owned Franklin Fountain in Philadelphia, very successful ice cream store. Shane's Confectionery next door, and 2 other venues in town. That's the entrepreneur. Mr. Burley here is a scholar of arts and crafts, unlike us heritage kids. We're scholars of this community. Ryan has a bigger can. Ryan, come and talk to the people.
Thank you all for coming. Can you all hear me today?
Yes.
Thank you to all of you. Many of you are members of the museum. Our membership has tripled in 2 years. And that's very much thanks to you and many here today. And thank you to our other speakers. We're very pleased and honored to have you as our guests. I'm going to have a few quotes and a theme, so bear with me. This is a little bit of a history lesson. A visitor to Rose Valley around 1906 said that sometimes we find an oasis. Rose Valley is one of these. We feel that a spirit of artistic freedom pervades. Here is a place where the vampire of commercialism cannot find entrance. Here is a place where the craftsman may work for the love of his craft, and the artist for the love of art. Here is a small but living monument to the life work of John Ruskin and William Morris. That's our first will, is William Morris, who, without his inspiration, Will Price would not have probably created Rose Valley. Of course, our second will is indeed Will Price. And I wanted to read a brief quote from Will. Rose Valley is not altogether a dream or wholly an achievement. It's an experiment. It is also an act of faith. It is not willing to say what it will do. It is only willing to say what it is trying to do. Rose Valley first pays tribute to labor. In Rose Valley, labor is creed and ritual. Rose Valley reaches life through work. The Rose Valley shops are temples to this work. Here men pray in their work. Here men practice fellowship in their work. The shops have only one creed, and that creed is good work. There is only one apostasy at Rose Valley. That apostasy is bad work. Blasphemy is shirk. Blasphemy is neglect. Blasphemy is don't care. Rose Valley has not withdrawn from the world. It is in the world. It is not an ideal. It is a step towards an ideal. And I think that those words ring true today. It is always acknowledged that, above all, that Rose Valley has far done much more and remains to do. Indeed, it may be admitted that much more will always remain to be done, whatever Rose Valley may succeed in doing. To get everything done would be a failure. To be always doing something is a success. That was written in November of 1905. And I think that we could say that every day of every year since then. On the theme of work, I wanted to thank a number of people who helped to make this day possible. Thank you to Aaron and John for carving our beautiful sign. To Bill Hale and to Andy Detterline for their undying support. Could not have done it without their guidance. To Bill Burney, a craftsman of the old sort, who poured this walk and tore it up when it wasn't right and poured it again because he wanted to do it. This is Ridley Creek sand and Ridley Creek pebbles brought up from the creek, in many carloads. To our board and our museum members, thank you. Especially thank you to Sue Kailbaugh for an unbelievable amount of work. She is the hardest worker in Rose Valley. To my family, my father Rob, who toiled for hours in that upper studio, cleaning the woodwork late until the night, and right up until the moment of our opening last evening. Carol Burley, our mother, who, without her family's history and the antique shop that we grew up in media, would never have instilled this kind of passion for the past that we have. Thank you. My brother Eric and his family who are here today, my partner in craftsmanship, and a constant support from day one. Thank you, Eric. To my mentor and my brother-in-law and artist and collaborator, Jim Reed. Thank you, Jim, for everything you do. Tending the fires. Fixing the roof. To the Reed family, who we are very much one. To Mary Ellen and to Lizzie, my dear partner and my loving supporter, thank you. So I'd like to segue and mention that the Thunderbird is a spiritual icon of many different Native American cultures. It's a bird of great power. It's a bird that is what you believe it to be. This building was called Thunderbird Lodge by Charles Stevens, who was a great collector of Native American art and artifacts. He realized how important the Thunderbird was in his travels around North America, documenting many of the native cultures. The Thunderbird is a metaphor for a community. It's a metaphor for America. It's a metaphor for anything good that we can dream and rise up and fly and accomplish anything that we strive for. And that involves all of you here today. The Thunderbird is what we make it, as Will Price said. Rose Valley is what we make it. In 1926, there was a dedication held just down the road for the first highway marker in Pennsylvania. It stands today for the beaver and the mink bus trail that Mayor Plummer mentioned. Many of the descendants of the folks who were there at that ceremony in 1926 are here today. And during that dedication, there was an appeal to the Great Spirit. And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce our special guest today, Trinity Happy Dancing Feather Norwood, tribal princess of the Nanticoke Lenni Lenape of New Jersey.
Ita, Kwango Melhumo, LONC, Wilatanami Kekwepe. I greet you. My name is Happy Dancing Feather. I am so blessed and honored to be able to be out here with you guys today. This area is very special and important to me because hundreds of years ago, my elders and my ancestors lived, loved, and walked right here where we're standing. And I think that it is so beautiful to be able to be in these areas and be connected to my ancestors and share special moments and share my culture with you guys today. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. I love being able to come to museum openings and things like that because our history is so important. If we don't know our history and where we have been as a community, as a country, as a people, we won't be able to project into our future for our young people. So if you will bear with me, I am not a fluent Lenape speaker, but if you will bear with me, I have a prayer. Oh, keshele mieng, ite mieng, bihila kite mine, kisi ke pindahi, ite la miweha. Kikati he o welina mi pa Batima wene wanishi nuhati wanishi nanele ketch. O you who create us by thought, our creator and our father, have pity on us, creator. Please truly hear our prayers. Bless the lands we walk on today. Watch over us as we stand up together as well. I pray for us together. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for this day. Nanele Ketch. Amen. Wanishi. Thank you.
Thank you, Trinity. So now we'd like to call forward the descendants of Will and Walter Price. If the Price family descendants could come forward. Morris Potter and Felicia Potter, her daughter. Granddaughter and great-granddaughter of Walter Price, architect and brother of William Price. Now we'd like the descendants of John Main, the craftsman, to come forward. We all know Paula Healy. Paula's daughter, Kate, and Christina Ringland, and her son, Jack Ringland. John Main was the head carver in the Rose Valley shops and is responsible for the beautiful woodwork that you'll see upstairs in the museum. And our special guest visiting from New England today, we have the descendants of Charles and Alice Barber Stevens. Sam, great to have you. And in fact, at the unveiling of the Beaver Monument, in the program that we have in our collection, we noted that I believe it was Loring's mother that unveiled the monument in 1926. And we've learned this just a few days ago, after these plans had already been made. And so we'd like the family to grab the shears. And
I'll note that while my grandmother is listed in the program as having opened the dedication of the monument, family history indicates that shortly before the ceremony, she ran off and bowed out. So I will attempt to both make up for that discrepancy today.
That's good.
Well, let's see if it works.
Yeah, right.
who sharpened the scissors?
Jam.
Hope it works.
So we are now officially open. There is an admission. If you are a museum member, the admission is free. We would encourage you to become a museum member. You can sign up at the desk. Otherwise, there's a small fee to go through the museum to help support us. And so anyone who's interested, line up and enjoy the rest of the afternoon here at Thunderbird Lodge.